The first hire almost breaks most HVAC owners. Not because they hired the wrong person, although that happens too, but because they had no system. They needed bodies, they hired fast, and within 90 days they were either babysitting someone who couldn't run a call solo, or they were dealing with a callback problem that was costing them jobs and reviews. The average bad hire in a skilled trade costs somewhere between $15,000 and $30,000 when you factor in lost revenue, callbacks, customer churn, and the time you spent managing the situation. Illustrative estimate based on general skilled trades hiring cost research. That is a number most small HVAC operators cannot absorb. So today I want to give you a hiring framework that protects you from the most common mistakes before you post a single job listing. Here's the real problem. Most HVAC owners hire out of desperation, not strategy. The busy season hits, the phone is ringing, you're running yourself into the ground, and you make a hire based on whoever shows up with a license and a pulse. That is the worst possible context for a good hiring decision. And the signals you rely on in a desperate hire are almost always wrong. A polished interview doesn't tell you how someone handles a frustrated homeowner at 4 p.m. on a Friday. A resume with experience doesn't tell you how they treat your equipment or your customers when you're not watching. References are almost always positive because candidates control who you call. The owners who get this right, who build a team of reliable, self-managing techs, are not luckier than you. They have a process. And the process starts before the candidate ever sits down across from you. Before you write a single job listing, you need to document what success looks like in the role. This sounds obvious. Almost nobody does it. Write down, what does a good day look like for this tech? How many calls should they be completing? What's the callback rate you'll hold them to? What's the customer satisfaction standard? What are the 3 or 4 technical skills they must have to run calls independently on day 1? This document becomes your hiring rubric. Every candidate you meet gets measured against it. It keeps your decision-making objective when you're tired, busy, and tempted to make an emotional hire because someone seemed nice. It also becomes the foundation of your onboarding plan, because once you've documented what good performance looks like, you can teach toward it from day 1. The best signal you can get on a candidate is watching them work. Not in a simulated scenario, on an actual call, alongside you or a senior tech. A paid working interview is exactly what it sounds like. You bring the candidate out for a half day or a full day, you pay them for their time, and you watch how they operate in the real environment. How do they talk to customers? How do they handle a system they haven't seen before? Do they ask good questions or do they fake confidence? This one step eliminates more bad hires than anything else in the process. A candidate who interviews well but performs poorly in the field will reveal themselves immediately. A candidate who is nervous in interviews but excellent in the field will stand out in a way that a resume never could. Yes, it costs you time and a day's pay. That is a fraction of the cost of a bad hire. Most HVAC shops have no formal onboarding. The new tech shows up, rides along for a week or 2, and then gets thrown into the rotation. By week 6, the owner has no idea whether the person is performing or not, because there were never any defined expectations. A 90-day milestone plan fixes this. Before the tech starts, you define what they need to be able to do independently at 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. 30 days might be, can run a standard service call solo with no callbacks. 60 days, can handle a diagnostic call on equipment they haven't seen with minimal guidance. 90 days, can upsell a comfort upgrade and explain financing to a customer without prompting. These milestones give you a framework for the conversations you'll have throughout those first 3 months. They give the tech clear targets to work toward. And if someone is not hitting their milestones, you know by day 30, not day 90, and you can address it or part ways before the cost compounds. This is not micromanagement. This is clarity. And most people perform better when they know exactly what's expected of them. Let's recap. 3 things to do before your next hire. 1. Document what success looks like in the role before you post the listing. Create your hiring rubric and use it for every candidate. 2. Use a paid working interview to see how candidates actually operate in the field, not how they talk about themselves in a conference room. 3. Build a 90-day milestone plan before day 1, so you have a clear framework for performance and a way to catch problems early. Here's the question I want you to sit with. If you've already hired your first tech, what's the one thing you wish you'd done differently in that process? Drop it in the comments. If you're about to make your first hire, what's the part of this you're most nervous about? Let's talk about it. This is Margin and Wrench. New playbook every day. Hit subscribe if you want tomorrow's.